Testing. Okay, good. So today I'm gonna be doing some modern jank, and if I run out of steam or decide that I'm not having as much fun playing modern, I'll switch over to doing some Legacy Cube. Let me bring up my mod view here in case I need to be running predictions or anything like that. People should be showing up momentarily. I was actually looking at a couple of rogue deck lists, potentially. There was a really weird Demir Tron that got played. That's showing up on MTG decks that I was kind of interested in. Halsey, it's not my birthday, but thank you. Glad to have you. How's it going? Somebody apparently was playing Simic Tron as well, which is just Ancient Stirrings and Sylvan Scrying plus Blue Tron. I haven't decided yet. I'm open to suggestions. I could work on no, I don't like playing Esper Control. I mean, I could build Esper Battle of Wits. That would be an Esper Control deck I actually wouldn't mind playing. The problem is my computer would probably lag to the point that I wouldn't be able to make it through a couple of games. Whoops. Gotta watch where I leave my mouse. Good evening, Kefka. How's it going? Glad to have you. Really trying to figure out what I should be playing tonight. Green Black Rock? We could build a rock deck. Is there an interesting way to build rock in particular? Like maybe some jank we can center it on? Hi Tarek, how's it going? Abzan? Don't be mad at you. What for? It's not my birthday, Tarek. Kefka, I can't fault you for playing what is arguably the best deck in the format. If you're trying to grind or you want to win, play Blitz. Yeet Hex Drinker for something else? I thought I had an idea for a deck earlier this week, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Recall, welcome. Yes, I'm feeling much better. I was like people told me like, oh, you're not gonna have symptoms with the first shot for the COVID vaccine, and I had symptoms for the first shot. Like I was actually like feeling kind of crummy, but it wasn't bad. I just like didn't do anything for like 8 hours and then went to sleep, and everything was fine. The second COVID vaccine knocked me on my ass for a day and a half. Like I got it at 11 in the morning on Friday, and not until Sunday at like noon did I start to feel normal. It was awful. Kaiju Squid, thank you for following. Glad to have you. I think that's because of like the lighting has been messed up. I'm not really sure. No symptoms for the first shot, BS. Yeah, no kidding. It was not a fun time for me personally. Oh, I remember what I was going to try and play. I don't think it's good, though. Humans could be a meme. Humans could actually be a deck. Is there a way that we can build, like, some kind of artifact control deck and cleansing wildfire and ghost quarter our opponent to death? Like an is it Stone Rains deck or something like that? There's gotta be, right? I remember seeing this card the other day and I was like, I've got an idea. I don't know if I can make it work. Porter, I'm trying to stream, buddy. We just went for a walk out in the 82-degree weather. I thought you'd be tired. Anything with copy spells? Oh, we'll definitely need like Shadow of Doubt as well. All right, yeah, let's start putting this together. I'm gonna call this. Is it Ponza? A Jeskai Ascendancy League top? Well, Jeskai Ascendancy is like a quick combo. There's Ashiok too. Good call. We could just main deck Ashiok. Okay. So let's go Cleansing Wildfire. Probably need like Ghost Quarter, maybe even Field of Ruin. We can do Ashiok, Dream Render. Oops, that's the foil. We can actually use Karn as top end for this. Because we could wish for Mindlock Orb. Not really. We would just wish for other better things, but I can go with Karn here. We'll do Shadow of Doubt. Pillage, Avalanche Rider's Blink. I like where you're thinking. What is this card? Why is it red? Huh. Alright. We'll do Shadow of Doubt. We can run like a couple of them. Oh, we need Tail's End. Tail's End to stifle a couple of fetch land triggers. Nice, Phoenix. Let's see. So maybe we run like some cryptic commands. Force or two. Phoenix resubscribing for 8 months. Thanks, Phoenix. It's been good to have you around. You're a wonderful human being, and I really appreciate the support. I mean, is it land destruction's probably better off as like a wildfire deck? Abzan taxes? Huh. I wasn't aware that you could do that. So we need... So, Bone Daddy. Yeah, I was like... I originally was thinking of Mindlock Orb, and then somebody pointed out Ashiok, and I was like, we could probably make this work. How do we maximize the effectiveness of this? We're gonna need like Lightning Bolt, obviously. We're gonna need Lightning Bolt. Necromentia can hit on non-basics. What's this? Oh, I'll keep that in the tabs, and I'll look at that later. Whirlwind Denial can't stifle 2, right? I think it counters everything on the stack that... For each spell and ability your opponents control. So yeah, you can use that as a counter spell or as a Stifle. It also has some anti-storm synergy, but I'm trying to build an Is It Ponza deck, basically, is how this is going to work. I was trying to avoid, like, the Jeskai Lotus Field, and I was trying to take it a different route than regular Wildfire or Annex and stuff like that. Originally, I was thinking Mindlock Orb, Ghost Quarter, and Cleansing Wildfire, but Recall33 resubscribing for 2 months. Thank you so much. You're a wonderful human being, and I appreciate the support. How do we want to do this? We could play Crucible. We could just do like a Ghost Quarter Crucible lock. Crucible in the board because of Karn. I mean, yeah. That works. Kefka gifting a tier 1 sub to Kaiju Squid, reaching level 2 on the hype train. Thank you so much. Do I have the shiny Crucible? I do not. Only have the old style Crucible of Worlds. Hang on. I think I'm trying to... Everyone in your house is sub D. Nice. Thanks, Kefka. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. I might be trying too hard with this. Mix'em, welcome. Kano tryhard? Nah. Isn't there... Hang on a minute. Isn't it like... No, it's not Gearport. It's... No, it's not Vidalcan Orrery. Is it a different... Why are we playing Doctor... Oh, Ashiok, that's right. That's why I wasn't playing Ashiok. It's because Ashiok only stops your opponent. Yes, that's right. I think it was Gearport Orrery. Okay. I have an idea. What if we play a blue Mindlock Orb Ghost Quarter deck with Gearport Orrery to get additional land drops to nuke more basics? Treasure Hunt Lightning Storm combo? It's been a long time. But that deck's not as good without Simian. No, I guess it's better without Simian Spirit Guide. At Narset. I mean, we can play Narset, but it... Hang on a second. Isn't there an extra land? 1 second. Extra land. Oh. Additional land is what I'm looking for. Additional land type. We want artifact. Because I thought there was more than one. Mix'em resubscribing for 7 months. Thank you so much. I might have to try and build a treasure hunt deck. That'd be fun. If you want derpy symmetry breaking land drop deck, why not play Rites of Flourishing and Confounding Conundrum? Alright, new plan. New plan. You know, a lot of this deck is still going to be relevant, but you know what? Let's do it. We'll do Rites of Flourishing, because I've been wanting to play this card in a deck forever. I think I can make this work. Hang on. Are we teamer? We might be. We'll do Confounding Conundrum. Okay. Then we have to... Let's see. We're going to want Karn. Probably Great Creator. Let's go Field of Ruin. We'll see how many Field of Ruins we're actually going to play. I don't know if we're going to play 4 or not. Preemptively drinking. Just be careful, buddy. I want Arboreal Grazer. Because I like the turn 1 ramp. Renin 6 is also insane doing the... Renin 6 is not a bad idea. So let me take a look at this. I'm just going to start adding stuff, and then when it starts shaping up, we'll... pre-gaming Kano stream, you're brave. I was thinking about main decking Crucible of Worlds, but if we're playing Renin 6, then that is basically taken care of, right? Let's see. What else do we need if we're going to be playing this deck? Oh no, I can still play Crucible. Like, playing Crucible in the main deck is fine. We completed the hype train. Thank you, everybody who participated. I think it is against the terms of service. And then we see Conundrum and Rights. Scam train successful. Okay, so we need some fetch lands. Let's get some prismatic vistas. Because I've got a feeling we're gonna have a lot of landfall shenanigans. We'll get Misty and Wooded Foothills. We probably won't actually need the prismatic vistas. Okay, let's get a couple of Ketria Triomes. We're not probably playing too many Field of Ruins. Panharmonicon? Why not main deck Panharmonicon? Like, if we're gonna be doing that, let's just main deck Panharmonicon. Oh, what happened with the ban and restricted update? Tech Edge? Tech Edge is probably better than Field of Ruin because we're not going to be playing that many basics. Oh, it's a terrible draw. Alright. You got me there. I mean, that sounds like a good ban, right? Like, it sounds like something that needed to happen. I don't play Arena, but... Well, I want a Crucible in the main deck. That much I know for sure. I think I want some... Explorers or... Growth Spiral. Because we want to be putting extra lands in play. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Growth Spiral if we want to run Remand. Remand is probably not bad. Because, like, we're going to be Ghost Quartering on our opponent's turn, right? Because that's the best time to trigger Confounding Conundrum. And this gives us a little more justification to run blue. So then we can play, like, Lightning Bolt. You ran out of beer, Mix'em? That sounds like a tragedy. Okay, so we need Stomping Grounds. We need breeding pool. We need a steam vents or two. Then we need... let's get some islands. Actually, I think we do play Field of Ruin. I was worried we weren't going to have enough basics, but looking at the mana base as it is right now, I think we're fine. Let's go a couple island, a couple forest, and then like a mountain. We'll do like 2 Field of Ruins. So that way we have like 6 lands that we can force our opponent. We could try and play Azusa or Courser. I don't think we need Azusa or Courser. Well, maybe we need Azusa. But Rites of Flourishing is our additional land play, and it's going to be kind of hard to interact with. I feel like this deck is missing something. Zane Artemis, welcome. We're brewing up some Jank right now, and it's looking like a confounding conundrum deck. We're not playing Valak. Although we probably could. Ways to beat a turn 1 Swift Spear. We've got Lightning Bolt. That's about it. Well, if I play Valakut, I'm basically playing the exact same deck I was playing. I'm basically playing Bring to Light Scapeshift, but way worse. And I want to have this deck be mechanically unique enough that it's still interesting. Ebony Alnitsky. Black Vice never sounded so good. Coil in the side is a win con? Which coil? Worm coil? Yeah, I haven't even built the sideboard yet. I was looking at the main deck still. Is there a... Hang on. Let's look at sacrifice lands in Modern really quick. Oop. Modern. Type land. You can tutor it with Karn, just saying. Wormcoil? Yeah, Wormcoil's fine to have in the sideboard. Quantity 0, okay. Just taking a look at what lands we have. There's Notvold Slumber Mound. We could play a Notvold Slumber Mound as a tapped mountain. 2-drop land destruction from ZNR. Is it Boom and Bust? Which oh, Cleansing Wildfire? We're not gonna need Cleansing Wildfire where we're going. Although, actually, we could play Cleansing Wildfire. I, for some reason, wasn't thinking about Cleansing Wildfire when I was doing this. Where are we going? Not even I know. Let's play, Alright, hang on. Straight to the loser's bracket. Let's cut... like a Steam Vents and a Stomping Ground. 25 lands should be plenty. The problem is, we're really going to be reliant on Confounding Conundrum to win. We'll play a couple of Cleansing Wildfires, and it might be better than Remand number 3 here. It's just a rough way to build our own metal coating combo. Fair. Put a Mind Lock Orb on the side. Let's go Liquid Metal Coating. Trinisphere. Ensnaring Bridge is going to be very terrible. Wishclaw Talisman to find our pieces. Ensnaring Bridge is terrible because we have Rites of Flourishing. So let's do Engineered Explosives. We'll go... Actually, let's play a Narset instead of a Renin 6 and a Growth Spiral. Okay. Wishclaw with Karn is just Demonic Tutor. Yes, yes, it is. When we were playing that's like a mono black Tron thing to do. That more than a whatever this deck is. If we didn't have to run red for Red and 6 and Cleansing Wildfire, I would say let's run black so we can play Fatal Push and stuff like that. Put some Veil of Summers in the side, along with maybe... I think Spell Pierce is the counter spell we want to be playing. We can go Spell Pierce, and then maybe a... World Tree? Where did I miss World Tree? Oh, shoot. Let's do... Oh, World Tree lets us just tap for any color. That's right. I remember now. Oh, we need Grave Hate. We need Grave Hate. Let's do... I think Relic. We can do, like, a Relic of Progenitus and a Graph Digger's Cage. No Golo... I'm not playing World Tree! It's just, where did everybody get this stuff? No, I don't think this is a Golos deck. There is a Golos deck, probably similar to this, but I don't think this is it. Needle would be fine, but we're playing worse spells like Mind Lock Orb, so... Alright, let me go get a Mind Lock Orb real quick. Not with that attitude. Oh, gosh. Clayton, welcome. How's it going? Mind Lock Orb, as suspected, is basically free. Alright. We got our initial list here. Let's play this, determine what weaknesses it has, and then adjust from there. Gosh. I like how the deck is still labeled, is it Ponza? All of them? Gosh. How do we win? Concede. Why no puzzle box in the board? It isn't. Because I didn't think of it, and I'm already queued up now. We win with worm coil beats, technically. Or opponent conceding. We could also liquid metal animate Karn and beat them with Karn. Oh man, that would be fun. What if Path? They're not gonna have lands. Ah yes, the old force the opponent to Alt F4 win con. Yeah, the plan is to blow up enough lands that your opponent will never ever have lands and then win. What is the deck weak to? I suspect a deck that plays 23 lands and a 1-drop that deals damage. Straight to the 05 trophy. They don't call that a trophy. Pretty sure it's got a different name. Nobody wants to play with me. They can sense the anger in this deck list. 2-mans are apparently empty. Might have to change it to confused meta magic. See, I never specified if it was mad as in crazy or mad as in mad as in angry. All right. I'm going to keep this hand just a little bit slow. Think it's a little bit of both? I don't think you're wrong, Zane Artemis. Opponent leads on Bethnic Biomancer, so they are a deck that we will struggle with. We draw Confounding Conundrum. Play Ketria Triome, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Depends on how well the deck goes. Fair enough, the duality of Mad Meta. Opponent plays a Mutavault. And they Spreading Seas our Ketria Triome. Well, that's bad. You just said it, a 1/1 that deals damage. Yep. We untap. We draw Rites of Flourishing. So, shock a Steam Vents. Play Confounding Conundrum. Yeah, we are so dead. Lightning Bolt. Maybe not dead. Maybe not just yet. Man. Confounding Conundrum really makes me want to play Copy Enchantment on Confounding Conundrum, but that's just, there's no way that that's good. Alright. Opponent playing a 3-drop, question mark. They adapting. Marrow Razure. Well, that's going to get lightning bolted. We take 2. Why did you shock a Steam Vents when we have Ghost Quarter? Just in case they had a second Spreading Seas for the Ghost Quarter. Okay, we draw Misty. So... Lightning Bolt Razure. Then we play a Misty and pass the turn. Mirror Maid would work. Opponent untaps. Play a land. Play a land, opponent. There it is. Alright, opponent plays a Harbinger of Tides. They can animate that Munivault. They play another Bethnic Biomancer. Okay. So they go to combat. They attack us for 1. We can't really do anything about that. Oh no! 2 1/1s! Fetch up a forest. Let's Growth Spiral. Put a Ghost Quarter into play. Ghost Quarter Mutavault. Opponent floats colorless. Confounding Conundrum triggers. I feel like we definitely need some kind of sweepers. Like, we need to be playing, like, Pyroclasm or Anger out of the side. Alright, so opponent bounces an island to their hand, presumably. They pick up Waterlogged Grove. Alright, we untap. We draw Narset. So... play... Rites of Flourishing. Steel Hellkite. Play Misty, and I think we play out this Arboreal Grazer just as a blocker. Get a forest. Play Grazer. Door to nothingness. Why do I tolerate you guys? Because I have no choice. JK, you guys are awesome. Alright. Opponent gets to draw an extra card. That is an unfortunate misspelling. Opponent's going to hit us for 7, and there's nothing we can do about that. They hit us for 7, we go to 5. They hit us for 8, we go to 4. Alright, we untap. We draw Remand. And Growth Spiral. Play Growth Spiral. Okay. Okay, so... we're basically like, there's no way we can beat our opponent with just 4 lightning bolts in this deck. I think we have to drop the Growth Spirals and Remands and play proactive stuff. Like, play Flame Slashes or Is It Charms or like something that does damage and interacts with the board rather than counter spells, because we're like tapping out every other turn. Alright, let's keep... Atarka's Command. It only hits face, right? Crack Misty. Get a Breeding Pool. We could do Prismari Command. Put in Grazer. Play Steam Vents tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play an island. Welcome, Dick Record. It's not my birthday, but appreciate it. The sentiment, nonetheless. We draw a Remand. So, play Confounding Conundrum. We draw a card. Play Ghost Quarter. Pass the turn. Field of Ruin is basically useless here. Is there... Well, I guess not. They have Mutavaults and Waterlogged Grove, but... Opponent plays a land. And then... They play Silvergill Adept, revealing Harbinger of the Tides. They draw a card. Pass to their end step. Yes, we are against modern merfolk. So they get an island, they have to bounce a land. They got a discard. We untap. Welcome, pal. Play Field of Ruin. Pass the turn, we'll leave up Remand. / maybe Field of Ruin if they Mutavault. Have fun, Kefka. Opponent plays Master of the Pearl Trident. We'll Remand. What the heck is that enchantment? Nothing good, I assure you. We draw a Narset. All hail Phyrexia, welcome. We draw Confounding Conundrum. So... Play Conundrum. We draw Rites of Flourishing. Play Misty. Pass the turn. Aha! You've fallen into my trap! You've played a Mutavault! No! I am a genius! Oh no! Podcasts Echoing Truth for some reason. Crack Misty. Get Ketria Triome. They bounce the conundrums back to our hand. And then play Bethnic Biomancer. They attack us for 2, and we block. We untap. We draw Grazer. So, play an island. Play Rites of Flourishing. Play a Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Get a forest. Play Narset. And downtick Narset. Get a Remand. Pass the turn. Narset won't survive, but my opponent will not get the first Howling Mine trigger. So opponent untaps. They do not draw an additional card. Yes, Confounding Conundrum makes fetch lands real bad. We just happen to play against the one guy who happens to be playing almost mono basics. They hit an Narset down to 2. And play Marrow Razure. We untap. Ghost Quarter, please. We draw Rites of Flourishing. And Confounding Conundrum number 3. Play Conundrum. Kind of. It kind of does. Oh, let's see. Play Grazer as a blocker. Pass the turn. I think leaving Narset to deny my opponent one more draw is actually more important. So opponent does not get to draw an additional card. They play Master of the Pearl Trident. And they're going to untap something. Oh, they're going to tap our blue source. We're going to remand the Master. We draw Wrenn and 6. They untap our Steam Vents. Okay. If only I had a way to take advantage of that. So they attack Narset, attack Narset, and attack Narset. There's no reason for us to block because she's going to die anyway, so we lose Narset here. Alright, we untap. We draw Narset. And then Crucible. So... Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Kano is trying to use his brain. Play Crucible. We'll get 2 land drops here. So we can play Ghost Quarter. I could field the Mutavault and then Ghost Quarter them twice, which stops them from playing basically anything. The alternative is I can play a second Confounding Conundrum and Ghost Quarter them twice. But I think that lets them... that lets them play Master. I can play a third Rites of Flourishing and Ghost Quarter them 3 times. So the first Mutavault turns into an island, and then we Ghost Quarter, and then they have 2, and then they Ghost Quarter down to 1. I can't get rid of Marrow Razor, and I have no answer for... I have no answer for that Master. The alternative to all of this is... really nothing, actually. I think we go for the Rites of Flourishing. And just try and Ghost Quarter them a bunch of times. What if they're holding 2 islands? They will be. So, Ghost Quarter Mutavault. Play Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter Island. Bounce it to their hand. Play Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter Island. And they bounce an island back to their hand. We are doing the thing, I can confirm. We're losing because my opponent can play a bunch of lands next turn. And, like, they get the mana, right? It turns their lands into lotus petals, basically. But, like, it's still fun, right? Alright, opponent plays an island. The The problem is this Master of the Pearl Trident they're about to... Alright, well, they just played a land into Confounding Conundrum. It's like they forgot it was a thing. They didn't use the mana. No, he just does a really good impression of a picture, as he's usually very lazy. His opponent plays Master of the Pearl Trident, untaps a land. They play an island, they float their mana. If they have another Master, we're just dead. Or Lord of Atlantis, I should say. Yep, okay. We are actually dead. Mixum thought the image of Porter on the top right of the screen was a picture. Okay. So, what did we learn? We learned our primary combo is actually hilarious. But we need to be proactive and not reactive, which means we're not playing Growth Spiral or Remand. What card did you remember we need? Tunnel Ignis. Tunnel Ignis. I would normally agree with you, but the fact we're like only playing Arboreal Grazer means that like we don't want our opponent to have use for their creature removal. So let's play Cleansing Wildfire, and we need some... I need something that can kill creatures. More than just Lightning Bolt, I should say. A strange, convoluted Teferi that doesn't always die. Flame Slash isn't really main deckable, but that's on the right track. Anger of the Gods, we definitely need Anger of the Gods in the sideboard. That's actually better than Spell Pierce. The Looting Burn spell. Oh, Fire Prophecy? Fire Prophecy could actually work. Vapor Snag... Actually, Vapor Snag's kind of funny if we're bouncing all their lands, right? Hey, Sigma, how's it going? Vapor Snag is like one of my least favorite cards in the game. I hate it so much. It comes from like my inexperienced years of playing Magic and getting wrecked by this card so hard during like Delver standard metagame. Play some Void Snares. Yeah, Void Snare. Alright. It goes well. We're playing a very, very janky Confounding Conundrum deck. Alright, we'll play first. This hand is not keepable. This hand is very close. I'm gonna keep this hand. Void Snare hits non-land permanents, but is sorcery. Vapor Snag hits creatures only, but is instant and makes the controller lose a life. We'll put Karn back. And we'll lead on Steam Vents tapped. Pass the turn. Oh, Unsummon is creatures only. Void Snare is non-land permanents, and instant and sorcery difference. So I'm against Lantern? Springleaf Drum. Oh, I'm against, I've got to be against... What's it called? Hammer Time, I think. We draw a Lightning Bolt, which makes me feel better against, what my opponent is doing. It could be Hardened Scales. I don't think it's Affinity. Affinity hasn't been a deck for a very long time. Okay, now I know Bone Daddy is trolling. Cranial Plating rides again. Oh, it's Kuldultha Red. Okay. That makes sense. Shrapnel Blast me. Ravager? Someone just did well with it? Okay. Oh, gosh. Signal Pest. We untap, draw Stomping Ground. So... we... are in a very janky position here. So what we do is play Renin 6. Downtick on Signal Pest. Presumably they just sack it to Ravager? Or not? Question mark? Alright. I'm going to Ghost Quarter myself. I was going to Ghost Quarter myself for a Mountain and Lightning Bolt Ravager, but I don't know if that's still correct or not. Yes, we do. So, Ghost Quarter Steam Vents. We will use its ability, get our Mountain, and kill Ravager. Because, like, Ravager is one of the scariest cards they could have, right? And so we should kill it while there's no payoff for it. It also shuts off Springleaf Drum until they play something else. Alright. Opponent plays a Steel Overseer. How's recording the tournament been going? I have round 2 and round 3 labeled as round 2 and round 3. Me talking about it being round 2 and round 3, and no round 1 because it was Orpheo. But my matches have been relatively short and basically me getting destroyed. So, you know, take that as you will. We get Steam Vents. I should have downticked. Why didn't I downtick? I was so, like, adamant I was going to be doing... I needed to downtick there. Ulfsirker, welcome. So, Cleansing Wildfire the opponent. Hopefully I can draw another Lightning Bolt and everything will be fine. We draw Crucible. So, play Steam Vents tapped. Pass the turn. They fail to find? Do they have no other basics? We're playing The mono Ghost Quarter deck against the guy running one basic. Oh, man. And we're going to be playing Karn. We did it! Watch me still lose to it. So they Galvanic Blast to Fairy down to 1. Or not to Fairy, Renin 6. Not even close, Kano. That wasn't even close. We untap. We draw Ghost Quarter. Alright. Play Ghost Quarter. Play Karn. This should put a damper on things. Uptick Karn to keep him out of lightning bolt range past the turn. And then we're just gonna Crucible of Worlds, Ghost Quarter, Rites of Flourishing. They play a Glimmer Void. I guess if they have Lightning Bolt, or Shrapnel Blast plus Steel Overseer attack, then we might be in trouble. Ensoul Artifact. Why would you ensoul the Steel Overseer? Why wouldn't you ensoul the Springleaf Drum? That would kill Karn. Oh my goodness. We untap. We draw Renin 6. Animate Springleaf Drum. Play Renin 6. Shoot the drum. Ghost Quarter, Glimmer Void. If they get a land this time, I'll be even more confused. Opponent punt. Seems to have never happened before. Pass the turn. It's red robots. It used to be like Kuldotha Red with like Shrapnel Blast, Kuldotha Rebirth, Goblin, Bushwhacker, all that stuff. Wow. We got him. He conceded match. We just bullied someone in the 2-man queue. I'm sorry, opponent. Oh, man. Like, what other deck runs one basic land and plays it? Oh, man. I feel so bad about this. We could, yeah, we literally, no, we had unsummons. We could beat a 5/5. We had Vapor Snag and Void Snare. But yes, in the general case, we were probably just dead to a 5/5. Oh, that's fantastic. I like this deck. It's not good, but I like it. Well, the problem was they should have just attacked Karn, and then we had like a Renin 6, and they had a 5/5, and we weren't doing anything for a long time. Like, that was pretty bad. Oh shoot. Yeah, let's play another 2-man with this. I don't think I'm going to make any further adjustments just yet, but I am going to restart the client. So while I'm doing that, you can look at a close-up of my face. For those of you that don't know why that I'm doing this, Magic the Gathering Online has a memory leak and will thus play slower and slower. It's more noticeable on my computer because it's an older computer. And I need to restart the client. I like this deck. It's not good, but I like it. Nice. It's a fitting motto, I think. Oh. And I call it Jank, is it, Ponza? I did not. Gotta find it. Who wanted to shave your beard besides you, that is? Oh, I don't know. Somebody was talking about it in chat. I actually don't have the avatars for Majosto. I think I only have Momir. I can get the other ones. I'm sure they're cheap, but what is it? Where did I put it? The deck I was just playing. Aha, it is okay. So it is just listed as Is It Ponza. I want to. I actually kind of want to shave my head bald. Just get rid of all of the hair because I'm so sick of it being long. It's so much extra work to keep it like washed and like wait takes forever to dry. It's just not a good time. Where is it, Ponza? Okay, here we go. Don't shave, it'll ruin the surprise. At least until Sunday-ish? Okay. Well, I'm not planning on shaving the beard anytime soon. It's the head that I'm imagining shaving. Should get a mohawk and mutton chops so you look like a weird Skyrim character. Bald Kano with all the bright lights and burn a hole in my monitor. It's just like this like gleam that like just whites out the camera and gives everybody watching the stream a nice suntan. Okay. Wow, this is getting worse and worse. All right, I'll keep it. You have a nice surprise to report. All right. The Scott Pilgrim versus the World PC port isn't abysmal. That was one of my favorite games to play on the Xbox 360. Somebody at a it was like a high school LAN party thing that I went to one time. Actually had like brought the Xbox 360 and introduced me to it, and I was like, this beat 'em up is awesome. Arcano will blot out the stream. Let's go ahead and grazer in our Ketria Triome. Pass the turn. You got a physical copy from the limited run? Yes, yes. I actually have it on my Xbox 360, and I got all of the DLC for it, but I don't know if it still works. I haven't turned that 360 on in years. My opponent mulliganed to 3, so I guess let's be nice and offer them a way out of the mulligan. You'll turn 2 Rites of Flourishing, with no way to back it up. Opponent untaps, draws an extra card. They opt. I don't know what this is. Bluetron doesn't generally play Chromatic Star. This is probably Eggs. Oh, it's Mixim! It is Eggs! I didn't even realize. So play Forest, play Misty, play Confounding Conundrum. We draw Ghost Quarter. Crack Misty. Get an island. Pass the turn. No attacks. Someone PM Kano's hand. Alright, opponent untaps. Why no pillage? Because this deck is bad. That's really the reason. I was thinking about building a collected conjuring a collected conjuring Stone Rain list. Opponent cycles, Chromatic Star on her upkeep. and silences us. Fair enough. But I drew a ghost quarter. Let's swing 0 and show them that we're displeased. Alright, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They get to draw a card. They play a second ghost quarter. Ah! Confounding conundrum. Pick that land back up. Alright. They're passing. Why does no one play Molten Rain? Because the damage is not as important as being able to hit artifacts for from Pillage. Like, prior to Pillage being modern legal, almost everybody ran Molten Rain in that slot. Alright, make them pick up another land. And then we're going to field them as well. No, I would not say any of those words. Get another forest. Alright, we untap. We draw Void Snare and Wrenn and 6. Play Wrenn and 6. Pick up Misty Rainforest. But you think them? I have 3 Bring Delights? Oh, that's so... I'm sorry. That sounds terrible. I mean, we're doing mean things to a nice person. Pick up our other Ghost Quarter. Play Ghost Quarter and wait. They bring to light for Fate's Reward. Can you explain where your username came from? My username is originally from when I played the first Guild Wars. You had to have a username that was a first and last name and had to have a space in the middle of it. And so I decided those 2 things out of complete arbitrariness. And I just kept using it for things ever since. Get conundrumed. Ghost Quarter their Ghost Quarter. They get an island. They gotta pick up a land. We untap. We draw Karn, and that's probably the game. So pick up Ghost Quarter. Play Karn. Okay, yeah, Karn versus eggs. Karn generally wins. No adjustments. Run it back. Kano, his favorite Mortal Kombat character. Yu, which is Japanese for hot bathwater. And Goro, which is the Mortal Kombat character's on-again, off-again lover. What? Goro, like the big forearm dude? So, Porter apparently wants to play tug of war with a ball. Drop. Good boy. Wow, he caught that one in midair, actually. Oh, jeez. Okay. We're keeping this. He just wants to play. He's changed his mind and decided that he wants to play a lot. Alright, so Mix'em starts with Conjurer's Bauble. We draw Karn, play Misty, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a Plains. Okay, so we go to their end step, crack Misty, get a Ketria Triome, untap. We get Grazer. We have Grazer because Grazer blocks, and we're playing a lot of lands because we're playing Rites of Flourishing, which is the only reason that I am playing the cards that I'm playing. Play Forest. We'll play Wrenn and 6. Uptick Wrenn and 6 before I forget. Picking up Misty. Pass the turn. Whoop. Careful, buddy. They play Conjurer's Bauble. And an island. So we untap. We draw a Field of Ruin. Play Misty. Crack. Get an island. Play Narset, which stops all of the card draws. Wow, you know, I really, I think that we could not have a better matchup than Eggs. Just because of, how many of our effects just, shut off everything that deck wants to do. I'm sorry, Mix'em. Let's get Confounding Conundrum. Pass the turn. Ditchfield. Dick record. That's his ball. And he stopped licking it to listen to me say these words. You can see it in his face. He's checking to see if I'm going to pick it up. He's looking at me. He knows I'm talking about him too, even though I'm not looking at him. Because he's real smart. Now he hit it at me. Well, that's pretty demanding. Ugh. How'd you roll it all the way over there? They Serum Visions, which lets them scry, but not draw. Yeah, I can't play Tug with a ball. There's not enough to hold on. Alright, we untap. We draw Lightning Bolt. So play Rites of Flourishing. Play Ghost Quarter, play Misty Rainforest. Crack Misty Rainforest. Get a Breeding Pool. Pick up Field. And play Confounding Conundrum. Kano tryharding Tug. You want me to throw the ball? Man, that was a big head tilt. Well, I can't throw it if you walk away with it, dude. Okay, they Nature's Claim our confounding conundrum. He's dropping it on the floor to try and, like, get my attention, but he also won't let me have it to throw it. No take, only throw. The epitome of Porter's logic. The other day he was trying to get the cat to throw the toy for him. Because he was picking up the toy and, like, dropping it at the cat, trying to get the cat to throw it. And I'm like, dude, the cat doesn't have thumbs. You shuffled your scry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mixum. That sucks. Alright. They bobble, but they don't get to draw. Oh. Is this a Faith's Reward? It is a Faith's Reward. They get back their baubles. Okay. I was really confused about what was happening there. Thanks for playing, Mixum. I'm sorry, because our deck just, like, hard counters eggs super, super hard. Good game, sir. I think, while this deck is fun, and maybe deserves... You cannot Nature's Claim Narset. No, that is true. You need, You need, like, Assassin's Trophy, but I guess technically you're going to want 1 mana answers. Let's play... Do you guys... Is there anything that anybody wants to see specifically? Because I'm thinking about building that land destruction deck. I actually realized I can't do Legacy Cube because I have one that I'm currently recording that I didn't finish. All Hail Phyrexia wants to see Infect. I've actually gotten some requests to see Infect. Abzan Taxes? I may not have the cards for that. I didn't even look. I don't think I have Collected Companies, so I don't think I can play that. Do I have Collected Companies? I actually do have Collected Companies. Okay, that's news to me. Yeah, but... Oh, actually, I did want to brew an Infect deck. Halsey, I can play that in a little bit, but there's an Infect deck that I wanted to play. Well, it's not strictly an Infect deck, but it's technically an Infect deck. So, the idea is... We Nourishing Shoal... Why is this listed as a standard deck? This is a modern deck. Yeah, we're playing Fortifying Draft. And we're going to gain 10 life and then make Glistener Alpha 10/10. Like a 4-card combo. So we got to play Audic Thornworm. Then Oh, shoot. What are the next... Is the next best Infector still considered Blighted Agent? Oh, actually... No. Doesn't one of them have Trample? I guess not. They banned Blazing Shoal back in 2007. Mirror or Cobra, and they don't have Trample. Let's do Mirror. I guess Blight Mamba has regen, but that's probably not going to matter. I do have Nexus, so we can play Nexus. Anyone in chat remember 2007? Barely. Stinger has flying. Yeah, but I think we're going to try and stick to mono green because of Nourishing Shoal. So if I play Blight Mamba and Ichor Claw Mirror... Okay. Scale Up's not bad as plan B. Yeah, we're still going to run, like, Scale Up and Mutagenic Growth, right? But we're just, like, Glass Cannon Infect. We need a way to give Trample. Rancor. Rancor is what I'm thinking we need. Get way more protection. Isn't the 1 mana hexproof? I don't remember what it's called. Blossoming Defense. Thank you. I think you want at least 8 hexproof. How many lands does this run? Yeah, Pendlehaven is basically free. I really doubt that it is. No, I don't think we're playing Heroic Intervention. Yes, Vines. Alright, I'm going to go down to 2 Rancor. Then we'll play 4 Vines of Vastwood. We do not need Berserk in Modern. Is Infect fun because it's bad now? No, it's fun because we gain 1,000,000 life and then kill our opponent that way. Actually, we have a backup plan for the Blitz. What is that called? Voracious Worm. That is if I can spell Voracious. We have a backup plan. And it plays into it. I'm going to get rid of Blight Mamba. So Voracious Worm is a 2-mana 2/2 that whenever you gain, it enters with the amount of 1/1 counters equal to the amount of life you gain this worm, this turn. So you Nourishing Shoal Autochthon Worm, and it enters as an 18/18. That's the plan. So sideboard, we need Veil of Summer. Then we need like Natural State or Nature's Claim. How are we using life for Infect? Nourishing Shoal into Fortifying Draft. Is basically the plan here. Is it even as good as the regular Infect plan? No. But it will be fun. Hopefully. Yeah, just a 4-card combo. Kills on turn 2. Don't worry about it. In theory, at least it keeps us alive, right? Because our opponent, if they're playing Blitz, we gain 16 life and something profit. What else do I need in the sideboard here? There's got to be something else that's good to run in the sideboard. We have Artifact and Enchantment Removal. We have Counterspell Hate. Noble. I don't think I want Noble Hierarch, actually. Oh, Shaper Sanctuary. I mean, I apparently don't have any. I apparently just took out a Fortifying Draft, too. I searched for that too, but I didn't realize I didn't have any. And then yeah, we can play Choke. Why not, right? Just random green deck playing Choke. Probably like some Beast. No, not Beast Within. Yeah, Force of Vigor. There we go. Well, I hope you sleep well when you get the chance, Halsey. But thank you for tuning in tonight. It's been good to have you. Exactly one Relic of Progenitus. I think if we're playing Grave Hate, it's Tormod's Crypt. Alright. Let me go get the cards for this. Oh. Well, slow down on your drinking then. Luris for Misdirection? We're playing Autochthon Worm. We can't play Luris. Although, not a bad plan. Alright. Let's do this. Life Gain Infect. I would like to play first. So close, Mulligan. We don't have any of the life gain payoffs. Sure. Put back Voracious Worm. Start Glistener Elf. Pass the turn. Opponent. Blooming Marsh into Fatal Push. Llanowar Elves. Okay. We draw Fortifying Draft, so Rancor. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent blocks. Fortifying Draft. Gain 2 life. Hit our opponent for 4 infect. Double, like, Fortifying Draft in multiples seems really good in Infect. Opponent plays a Forest. They play Nettle Sentinel and Elvish Mystic. We untap and draw Mutagenic Growth. Play Inkmoth. Go to combat. Attack for 3 with Trample. Yeah, no, the card actually gains you life. They block with Noble Hierarch, or they block with Nettle Sentinel, not Noble Hierarch. So Fortifying Draft takes it up to 3 infect. Porter, you are so cute. You are so cute putting your head on my leg like that. Now we'll just Mutagenic Growth. Hit him for 3 over the top. They go to 7. Pass the turn. Well, where's the toy? Where's the toy? You want me to throw the toy? Go get it. Oh, did you drop it somewhere weird? Oh, I see. It rolled way under the table. Opponent plays an Elvish War Master. And an Elvish Clan Caller. Oh, so they're just dead to Inkmoth Nexus. Excellent. We untap. We draw Blossoming Defense. Animate Nexus. Go to combat. Force of Vigor in the main deck. I have Blossoming Defense, so I think it'd be fine, but... Fortifying Draft, so we don't show them Blossoming Defense. Hit him for 3. Nice! Alright. What do we play versus... Do we have any sideboard for elves? I don't think so. I think we just try and hope we draw Rancor. Or have, like, Inkmoth Nexus, Nourishing Shoal, Autochthon Worm, Blossoming Defense. Or not Blossoming Defense, Fortifying Draft. It does, because that targets, but I don't think that's enough. Veil might be worth it for the Thoughtseize, but I'm just going to try and no sideboard here, I think. Alright, we've got the combo. Just about, actually. We need Nourishing Shoal. We're still keeping this, because all we have to do is draw Nourishing Shoal. We draw Fortifying Draft, play Inkmoth, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Guiltleaf Palace, revealing Heritage Druid. They play Shaman of the Pack. Yes, I did Furry Combat Wombat. We draw Scale Up. Play a Forest. I could play a Voracious Worm as a blocker. And I'm gonna. This is Worm Tribal Infect. We got Voracious Worm, we got Scale Up, we got Autochthon Worm. Go over the Morrow teasers on stream. We had a huge, long discussion in the Discord about it already. And I'm not particularly good at speculation, but combined, all of us are. So I suspect if you want to do that, you should be in the Discord. I don't think it would make good viewing content here on Twitch. Drop. Play a Dwinnen's Elite and an Archdruid. Could be Lurgoyf cycling. That would be hilarious. Alright, come on, Nourishing Shoal. It is not Nourishing Shoal. I mean, I'm just dead. I'll do my best. Run it back for game 3. That is actually a clever design for a card, Dick Record. I like that. Perfect. Make a Lurgoyf's counterpart for all Atogs. Chronogoyf. +1/+1 for each extra turn spell you've ever cast. Start Glistener Elf. We're in huge trouble if they just go like Fatal Push. Goyf? Goyfagoyf? Atagagoyf. The Legend. Opponent plays Elvish Mystic. We untap. We draw Vines. Play Rancor. I would really like to draw a land. No attacks. Pass the turn. I just let them know I don't have any free spells. Opponent plays Guiltleaf Palace. Revealing Nettle Sentinel. They play Dwinnen's Elite. Time Spiral targeting opponent tribal. I don't think that's something I'm going to do. Play Nurturing Peatland. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Now that you've mentioned wanting lands, you're going to get 3. That would be perfect. Opponent blocks with 5 toughness. This is actually fine. So, Fortifying Draft. And Fortifying Draft again. Hit him for 4 Infect. Pass the turn. Fortifying Draft in multiples is really good. It's bad in just about every other Infect situation. But they play Elvish Archdruid. We untap. Draw Inkmoth. Play Inkmoth. Go to combat. Attack for 3. If they don't block, they die. So they block. I'm going to use Blossoming Defense here. Because this lets me Vines of Vastwood if they have a removal spell on their turn. Opponent has a Realm Walker. Alright, that means they're dead. Unless they have Slaughter Pact. They're dead. We draw Blossoming Defense. Go to combat. Attack with Glistener Elf. You run Darksteel Garrison in your Infect deck? Yes. That is awful. Good night, all hell Phyrexia. I got you your Infect. Literally undefeated. Life gain Worm Tribal Infect. Literally undefeated. Oh, jeez. Cheerios and taxes? Is that like a Pure Steel Paladin taxes deck? It's a Storm taxes deck? Do you have a list? Or is this just something you're asking me to brew? You can't just string words together and say, Kano, make it a deck. I mean, Bone Daddy can, but... I think I want to build Collected Conjuring hit Stone Rains. I think that's what I want to build right now. Oh my gosh. Furry Combat Wombat gifted a tier 1 sub to Booner622. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm sure that user will appreciate it as well. You're a wonderful human being, Furry Combat Wombat. Porter, what is with this like desperation for me to throw the ball? He doesn't normally act like this. He's like, do it now. Like really ramming his head up against my elbow. Drop. Got yourself a Strixhaven Primal Command? Nice. The Porter Cam? Alright, I'll turn it back on. 1 second. I was in the middle of trying to search for something. Dude, that is rude. Like hard nosing my arm. Where's the ball? What'd you do with it? Where is it? Did you put it under my chair? Go get it. I can't throw something I don't have. Where's the ball? Where is it? Where's the ball? Porter, where's the ball? Go get it. Go get the ball. Watch this, watch this. See if he'll... Nice. Drop. Drop it. I'm not playing tug. Drop. Yes, you are in my basement. The dog looks like he plays 8-rack. Let's see. I wish I had that list for the deck that we saw the other day.
Go get the ball. If you want me to throw it, you need to bring it back.
Oh, we have art? I look like I belong in the Emperor's New Groove, and I like it. I actually really like that. Pyre of Heroes list with Winota? Sure. I'll look at that. That sounds like something I'd play. Go get it. Sometimes he waits for a verbal command. I'm not sure why. He's not sure I'm still engaged with the active play. Well, when I'm done streaming tonight, I'm going to have to really exercise him again. Whoa, okay. Let's do about 4-0 and a prelim with it. You have an Assault Loam list? I'll look at an Assault Loam list. I'm going to see if I have the cards for this, if I can process it into a... Oh gosh, this is going to take me a bit. I see Zathrid Necromancer. I like a lot of what I'm looking at. Mikaeus? Oh, this looks great. I like this. I do like Assault Loam, though, as one of my favorite decks. I'll give that time to queue up. I'm going to build this in the meantime, because that page is loading real slow for me. Let's see, Tassiger. We got 3 Tassigers. Agent of Treachery. Winota. 3 Winota. Zulaport, Cutthroat, Zathrid, Necromancer, 2 Fairy Seer, Silvergill, Adept, let's see, Fairy Miscreant. Which one is this one? Wouldn't these just be better as Fairy Seers? I think they're better as Fairy Seers, unless there's a obvious interaction I'm missing. Fate Stitcher. Miscreant has a different creature type? Oh, okay. Let's go. Hi, Jod. And by Jod, I mean Deanna. On Jod's account. How's it going? We need a Micaeus Unhallowed. We need God Eternal Ronus. Oh, wonderful. I'm glad you guys are here. Is it God Eternal Ronus? Okay. Let's see. Bitter Blossom. This is a very weird list. So, Ancient Ziggurat. Check the memes channel. Oh no. What got posted in memes? Mix up. If I shaved my head, I'd look just like you. Arid Mesa. This is a very, very strange looking list. So we need Polluted Delta, Arid Mesa, Sacred Foundry, Godless Shrine. Sorry, I'm building this as fast as I can. Steam Vents. Watery Grave, Snow-Covered Swamp. City of Brass. Then we need Hall of Bandit Lord, which is a land I feel like doesn't get enough... doesn't see enough play. Pyre of Heroes, of course. It's one of the main reasons we're playing this deck. Then... Maskwood Nexus. Creatures you control have every creature type. Alright. So you don't have a sideboard for this list, just this? Sometimes I just look at a deck and love Modern. Yeah, I know. As soon as I heard what this deck was, I was like, yeah, I'll give it a look. Hang on, I gotta get the cards I don't have for this. Alright, well, we might have to stick some cards in the sideboard. We'll just make our best guess. Ow, my ears. Wow, only 3 tickets to get all those cards. So which creature types is it centered on? Because, like, I see Rogue. See, like, Pod Fairy Miscreant into Zulaport Cutthroat into Zathrid Necromancer. Or Fairy Seer into Silvergill Adept into Necromancer. Fairies, humans, wizards, and zombies mostly. Well, we gotta build a sideboard for this thing. Honestly, I feel like the sideboard ought to just be like Thoughtseize. It's just... quantity 1 or more. Put 4 in the sideboard. So, for Sigma's sake, the deck tech for this... so the idea is we're playing a Pyre of Heroes list. We're trying to play Pyre of Heroes like it's Birthing Pod. And... basically we pod like tokens off of Bitter Blossom into Fairy Miscreant, Fairy Seer. We pod Fairy Miscreant into Zullaport Cutthroat, which then goes into Zaithrid Necromancer, which then becomes Winota Joiner of Forces while leaving behind a zombie. Winota can hit all of our gigantic humans at the top end. We can also pod like Fairy Seer into Silvergill Adept, into Zaithrid Necromancer. We can pod, once we have Maskwood Nexus out, we can pod anything into anything else. But it's basically, I don't really know how this deck is going to play until we actually play it. That's kind of where I'm at right now. What other sideboard can I have in all of these colors? It possibly is way too many colors. But we're going to see if we can make it work. This is not a Drown in the Loch deck. I'll play like Fatal Push, I guess. Maybe Veil of Summer. We can only cast Veil of Summer off City of Brass, so not Veil of Summer. This does kind of seem like a tap out for creatures deck. So, are there any good sideboard creatures that we could get? There is black enchantment removal in the form of Feed the Swarm. Then we can do... Flusterstorm? I think Spell Pierce is going to be better. Do I have Flusterstorm? I do. Flusterstorm only hits instants and sorceries. We'll do Spell Pierce. So we'll try it like this. I have no idea what to put in a sideboard for a deck like this. And I really don't even know how to play this deck. And I won't until we actually get into a game here. So what I'm going to do is restart the client because it's starting to lag really bad. And we'll be playing Jank Winota stuff here in a second. Then if I'm not completely zonked, after that we'll play, we'll look at playing the Assault Loam list. So I looked at the mana base, and the mana base looks incorrect to me. Because your like only non-blue and black cards are Winota. Like Winota is the only red or white card, and so you could like completely splash Winota off of a lot less like City of Brass and stuff. Because like everything in this deck is blue or black with the exception of God Eternal Ronus and Winota. So you have 4 non-blue black cards, which tells me this mana base is not built correctly. I think Ancient Ziggurat also probably doesn't deserve a spot here. Like, all right. You have a good night there, Mixum. Thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna... Do you mind if I monkey with the mana base? Because I think I'm gonna do that. So, I don't like Ancient Ziggurat here, because we are trying to cast a couple of non-creature spells. Let's do... What is that land? It's not my birthday. A cavern or two? Yeah, we're cutting the Sacred Foundries. I don't really like the Arid Mesa. Because Winota seems like a creature we're not going to cast. We're trying to pod into her. So Watery Grave. We can play a Blood Crypt. Like, I'm fine with the fetches. Blood Crypt, Godless Shrine, Steam Vents. Play the Blue-Black Horizon land. Surly Barber Shop. What? What? Play Urborg. Let's see. So red, blue. Oh, we need a Hollowed Fountain. Then I'm going to max out on Watery Grave, I think. And then we can do a, like, couple of basic swamps. And some islands. And I think we got ourselves a deck. So let's try this out and see what happens. Alright, we'll play first. This hand is not keepable. Neither is this one. This one might be, but we need to draw a land. So put back Winota, put back Agent, play Polluted Delta, and pass. Oh, it's versus Clayton? It would be Clayton in the two-man queues. He's probably playing his... Yeah, it is Clayton from the group chat. He's playing his Egg Storm list. We draw a Fairy Seer, so fetch with Polluted Delta, we'll get a Watery Grave. Play Fairy Seer, hopefully we can scry our way to a land. Agent of Treachery to the bottom, City of Brass on top, pass the turn. Someone tell Clayton what cards Kano has. Plays another Implement. Oh yes, he's also on the one land special. Wonderful. Never mind. Alright, we untap. We draw City of Brass. Play City of Brass. Go to combat. Hit our opponent for 1. Play Pyre of Heroes. Take a damage. Mox Tantalite ticking down to 1. So he's pretty close to Whir of Invention for something. He's also pretty close to casting Bolus's Citadel, which will just kill us. He suspends Lotus Bloom. We untap and draw Zealoport Cutthroat. So go to combat. Attack for 1. And then let's Pyre of Heroes, sacking Fairy Seer. This gives us Silvergill Adept, and we draw Agent of Treachery. Not really what I wanted to draw, but... you know, make do with what we got. Hi, buddy. Okay. Tantalite comes off Suspend. Opponent now has 4 mana. They don't have triple blue for Whir. They come across a bridge, they argued about what to do with it, but at the end of the day it's still a 3/3. Nice. Scratching that dog butt. Lay down. It's time to lay down and rest for a bit. I'm almost done. Yes. You gotta lay down for a bit, okay? You show daddy good boy and lay down. Aww. Alright, he reshapes. Gets a Lotus Bloom. He might be waiting on this other Lotus Bloom to Whir of Invention for Bolas' Citadel. Okay, we draw Hall of the Bandit Lord. So go to combat. Attack for 2. Play Hall. Pyre of Heroes. Get Zathrid Necromancer. Pass the turn. Lotus Bloom taken down to 1. Oh, actually, if he's got land, he can just Whir for Invention here. Or Whir of Invention now. Or you just cast Bolas' Citadel. So we're probably dead. Unless he hits, like, land off the top. Plays a Welding Jar. Cycles an Implement of Improvement to draw a card. Gains a little bit of life. We untap. We draw a Polluted Delta. So, play Polluted Delta. Crack Polluted Delta. It's not my birthday rave, but thank you. We get a Blood Crypt. Untapped. Then we... play Tasigur with haste. Go to combat. Hit him for 6. It's not my birthday. It's just the running meme. Sack Tasigur. Get a zombie. Take a damage. Pyre of Heroes will go and get Agent of Treachery. Steal Citadel. Pass the turn. Nice. Agent of Treachery is where this deck tops out at, right? Right, Wombat? So Lotus Bloom comes off Suspend. Okay. Sacks for triple black. He's got another one. Well, we tried. Plays an Aetherflux Reservoir, and now the combo really goes off. Yep. That's a Weather the Storm. A Whir of Inventions X0. Gets a Lotus Bloom. I don't think the kill is deterministic at this point, but it's really close if it isn't. There's like a 95% chance he kills us here. Flusterstorm wouldn't have done anything. He had enough mana to pay for the 4 copies of Weather the Storm. Alright. That's game. Alright. So bring in the Thought Seizes and the Spell Pierces. We are going to go down... Ouch. What is not good in this matchup? I think it's the Bitter Blossom plan. So we'll cut Bitter Blossom. And I think we cut Miscreant and Silvergill Adept. Try it like this. Alright, I'd like to play first. I can keep this. It's really not great. I don't know why that the Porter Cam is not focusing. So I'm going to just shut it off for now. Fairy Seer has hits off a Pyre. Oh, is it a wizard? I thought I cut the rogue. Sorry, I should have kept the rogue in and taken the Fairy Seer out if that was the case. That was the intent. The problem is, I of course have no idea what I'm doing. We untap. Yes, this is the wizard, and we took out the wizard. Play Fairy Seer. Go Scrying. Kind of want this land. Agent of Treachery to the bottom. We'll put Watery Grave on top. Pass the turn. That's true. It's not. They play a Spire of Industry. And are passing. We untap. Draw Watery Grave. Play Watery Grave tapped. Go to combat. Attack for 1. Speed Force Punch, welcome. Hit our opponent down to 19. Pass the turn. They relic me to annoy me. Lotus Bloom, going to be taken down to 0 here pretty soon. They play Glimmer Void. They suspend a second Lotus Bloom. We untap. We draw City of Brass. Play City of Brass. Go to combat. It's not my birthday. Attack for 1. Hit him at 18. Play Fate Stitcher. Take a damage. Okay. So one of the Lotus Blooms comes off Suspend. I suppose there's a chance we're dead if they... Okay, they were of Invention X0, so they can get a Lotus Bloom. Then they get another Lotus Bloom off Suspend. And either they have a second Whir to go get Citadel, or they just cast Citadel here. Now they can just cast Omniscience. Yeah, they're about to. Alright, they play Bolus's Citadel, they play Spire. They reshape Relic. Probably into another Lotus Bloom. There's no reason for them not to acquire mana. And there's the Aether Flux Reservoir, so we're just done. We're just done. Yeah, with this many reshuffles, the likelihood of them fizzling is basically 0. Yeah. Okay. You got me, Clayton. Good games. That is really loud. Yeah, I think the deck could use some work. Honestly, I don't like Zulaport Cutthroat as our 2-drop of choice. I would rather Fairy Seer into either Silvergill Adept or... yeah, good games. I would rather just Fairy Seer into Silvergill Adept or pick a different wizard for Zulaport Cutthroat. Because, like, you can just pod wizards all the way to Zathrid Necromancer. I don't know what other... I mean, like, obviously there are good 2-drop wizards. I just don't know which one would be best in a deck like this. And none spring to mind immediately. Maskwood Nexus, I think, is a little bit ambitious, along with God Eternal Ronus. I know we can get him off of Fate Stitcher, and he's kind of like a combo kill, but I think that's a little bit overkill. Bitter Blossom and City of Brass life gain. Yeah, but I think there are other creatures you can play along this curve that are more likely to actually gain you life. Like, if you really needed life, you could be playing a human with lifelink. You could probably also cut this down to maybe like Esper and play some of the white humans. Like, there's no reason you couldn't play like Thalia, really. The only non-creature spell you play is Maskwood Nexus and Pyre of Heroes. And like I said, I think Nexus is a little bit overkill for the conspiracy effect. Isn't the Arcane adaptation... Isn't this just a better Maskwood Nexus if you wanted this effect? Creatures you control are the chosen type. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Yeah, this is for this deck, this would be Maskwood Nexus if you wanted the effect, but 1 mana cheaper.
because like we're already playing blue, we've centered the mana base on blue. So at this point, that would be an improvement. Potting Tassiger into Agent of Treachery felt hilarious, by the way. I think once we get up here, there's got to be a better 5-mana zombie for a deck like this. Like, God Eternal Ronus is good, but you need to have more 5-drops if a plan is to pod into 6. I'm not sure. My brain is not working as well as it should be right now. But, like, there's some potential in Pyre of Heroes. Like, just wizards into, like multiple creature-type creatures off of Pyre of Heroes could actually play sort of a pod game, and I was kind of surprised by that. Because everybody's been like, oh yeah, you play it like Tribal Pod, but this has, like, the Lorwyn overlapping creature types feel to it, and I think that that's really cool. I'm not sure what the absolute best execution of that is, but somebody smarter than me will put it together. Okay, so I have an Assault Loam list from... oh my goodness. Somebody who I think has left. It might have been Halsey. I don't remember who sent it in. But this looked kind of interesting to me. Because I've been playing a lot of these like really, really grindy decks. And I've been really enjoying them. Anything that like Life from the Loam is a card engine for, I really like. And this looks like... this looks like the deck I've been trying to build for a long time that have not been able to make work. And basically the idea is we use all of our extra lands to Raven's Crime our opponent a whole bunch, kind of tax their hand a bit with Inquisition, Cling to Dust and Fatal Push, just other good attrition 1-mana spells like Thoughtseize. Life from the Loam reloads our hand, fills up for Raven's Crime, helps us make land drops, and finally, like, we top end out just discarding lands to shock our opponent to death. I'm going to play this in a 2-man, I think. Hit the Swan, draw some cards. I don't think I've ever played Seismic Swans for the channel. I don't really intend to either. All right. Here we go. Finishing off with some Assault Loam for the day. Well, we have Wrenn and 6, we have Liliana of the Veil, and we have Loam. As long as there's a Stomping Ground in this list, I didn't check, this hand is fine. There is one Stomping Ground, we're fine. Alright, here we go. Play Bloodstained Mire, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. What's the matter, buddy?
Ah, flagstones. So they're either Jeskai, Lotus Field, or they are Nahiri Boom. If they're Nahiri Boom, Renin 6 really doesn't number.
What's the matter, buddy? Show Daddy what you want. You need me to go upstairs? You want to go upstairs?
That's what he wants. He's whining. He's whining for me to come upstairs with him. All right. We draw Wooded Foothills. Play Renin 6. We getting Mana Tithed? Nope. All right. Pick up Bloodstained Mire. You gotta wait a little bit, bub. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Opponent untaps.
I know. You told me. Just lay down for a little bit, okay?
All right, second flagstones for the opponent after floating mana. They get a Sacred Foundry tapped. And play Auriok Champion. All right. We draw Verdant Catacombs. Play a Swamp. Play Liliana. I guess I could have Verdant Catacombs for another black source, so I had a land to pick up. So technically I missed out on that opportunity. Make him sack Auriok Champion. Uptick Renin 6. Pass the turn. They untap. They play Rugged Prairie into a Blood Sun. All lands lose all abilities except mana abilities. Well, I did not draw a third red land, so I can't play Seismic Assault. Tick up Lily. Ditch a Bloodstained Mire. Pick up Bloodstained Mire. Let's go ahead and Cling to Dust Blood Sun. Draw a card. I guess I still play out some lands. Maybe? I probably shouldn't be playing out any lands. Opponent untaps. Yeah, I really should have Verdant Catacombs and fetch for a Blood Crypt. If I'd have done that, I'd have been totally fine. But because I didn't, I've got really punished for it. Opponent plays a Lotus Field untapped. Because of Blood Sun. They tap for triple white. Hey, what are you eating? Something you shouldn't be? Lay down. I feel like a cost shouldn't be considered an ability, but what do I know? Anything that punishes fetch lands is actually okay in my book. We need to have reasons to run not the best cards in slot. Ah, Felidar Guardian. Flickering Lotus Field. Now, if they Manamorphose into Saheeli Rai or something crazy like that, I might be upset. Oh, it's the... I know what you mean. Yeah, I was talking to the dog. Play a forest. Uptick Lily. Discard a random land. He's been so patient with me all day. But he's starting to get antsy because he's thinking I'm normally done doing this stream about this time. So... But I also normally start a little bit earlier than I started. Oh, I don't have 5 cards in my graveyard. I can't flash that back. That makes sense. Pass the turn. So, I mean, if they're playing Saheeli, then we just keep a different hand next game. Second Lotus Field. Kiki Jiki. Alright. So, we need Necromentia. And that's about it, really. I don't think I need Cling to Dust. Probably not. I may want Assassin's Trophy, though. I'm going to play Assassin's Trophy over a Lightning Bolt. It's a good card. Alright, we'll play first. Sure, we'll keep. I mean, escape and using your graveyard as a resource is a fun play pattern. The problem is when using your graveyard as a resource becomes too good, it's not fun. So start Wooded Foothills, pass the turn. So we are going to fetch Stomping Ground. Tapped. Then we untap. We draw Assassin's Trophy. Play Bloodstained Mire. Pass the turn. Sissia, welcome. Oh, and Thobe, welcome. Sorry, I read your username as somebody else's username. Thought you were Tarek for a second. Welcome, Thobe. Or however you pronounce that. I'm sorry. So, okay, we cracked Bloodstained Mire here. We're going to get a Blood Crypt. I could have gotten an Overgrown Tomb there, because I am holding a mountain in case I draw Seismic Assault. Okay, we draw Blackcleave Cliffs, so play Blackcleave Cliffs. And Necromentia. And we'll name Felidar Guardian. They have one in hand. They have Showdown with the Scalds.
Seasoned Pyro, Lightning Helix, and 2 lands. Opponent does get a zombie token. Pass the turn. Yeah. I mean, it's particularly frustrating here because my opponent is probably going to play Seasoned Pyromancer and then just have this whole board. And we don't have any sweepers, I don't think. Now, if I draw Seismic Assault, I can just shoot down the whole board, and that's great. They get rid of Flagstones and Showdown. They hit us for 2. We go to 16. Untap. We draw a second Liliana. So play Lily. Edict them. Play Verdant Catacombs, pass the turn. Oh yeah, I remember that. That's going well. That's good to hear, because I really like Discard Rats. It's a fun archetype to, you know, try and play and make work. So get an Overgrown Tomb tapped. This is turn 4, so they're probably playing a Lotus Field this turn. They are. They play Skyclave Apparition. I don't know why you wouldn't just attack Lily here. So they attack us for 4. Take 4. We untap. Draw Croxa. So play a Mountain. Play Liliana. We're going to Edict them, and then when they go to attack, we're going to probably Assassin's Trophy the Skyclave Apparition. All right. Pass the turn. They untap. How's the family doing? The family's doing well. I'm going to be going back to see them in about a month. So it's closer to like 20 days. I get to hang out with them. It'll be good. The opponent exiles Mountain, Plains, Auriok Champion, and Wall of Omens. They play Auriok Champion. That's pretty sick. So they're attacking both at Lily. Will Assassin's Trophy the Skyclave Apparition, which will give us a token big enough to block. But they have Lightning Helix, so I guess Liliana probably still dies here. Yep. Okay. Opponent. I thought it was Jeskai Lotus Field, but it's not. It is just Boros. They're playing Blood Sun and Flagstones of Trocare to make Lotus Field a okay card to play, and they're playing like Felidar Guardian infinite combo. Play Blackcleave Cliffs. Untapped because Blood Sun. Play Croxa, force our opponent to discard. I don't think he plays this version of that deck, though. He plays Lotus Field. This Opponent gains life. They got a discard. We sack Croxa. Oh, he did? Okay, I don't follow him that closely to know, but that's cool. He brews up a lot of really cool decks. Play Croxa. Opponent gains another life. They discard again. What is Guardian combo with, if not with Saheeli and Kiki Jiki? They are playing Kiki. But they have a lot of permanents that are like good value flickers. Like Flickering Wall of Omens, or Seasoned Pyromancer, or Blood Sun, or Showdown of the Scalds is all good. Like, it can combo with itself for infinite life as well, that's true. Skyclave is, yeah, it's not a bad flicker. Why would you put a 1/1 counter on the Seasoned Pyro and not on the Auriok Champion? It's kind of like Boros Value Twin, yeah. So we're actually, like, just dead. Ask opponent for a deck list. Pro red. Oh yeah, pro red means no counter. You know Kano doesn't read. Alright, we untap. We draw nothing, and we lose. If we attack, they certainly have enough power to come back and kill us. So, unfortunate. So, I'm pretty tired, so I think I'm going to call the stream here. The, oh, that was, Assault Loam. It wasn't, I mean, it was kind of like Jund attrition or Rakdos attrition, but yeah. Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. It was good to see all of you. Lots of people showed up for the stream today. We did a lot of brewing. It was a lot of fun. And, yeah, goodbye to goodbye to you too, pal. Night, Jod. Orfeo, Speed Force Punch, Sissia. Thank you all for tuning in. Also, shout out to Free Combat Wombat and Mixim and Kefka and Recall and Great Bone Daddy and Phoenix for subscribing, as well as Kefka for donating subs, and Kaiju Squid for following. You're all wonderful human beings, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.